قال ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum everybody, welcome to Ramadan with Zidane. Today is the 5th of Ramadan and hope your Ramadan is going healthy, wealthy and wise. Today we are going to do Surah Saad from where we left off, and hopefully we are going to complete the surah today. It is the 38th surah of the Qur'an. It has 88 verses, and in last part we had learnt about the story of Dawood alayhi salam and the story of Sulaiman alayhi salam, and today we are going to continue from verse number 40. It's going to be verse number 41 today. Do check out the previous episode if you missed it. We had done the first part of Surah Saad. Now Surah Sad, starting from verse number 41. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم واذكر عبدنا أيوب إذ نادى ربه أني مسني الشيطان بنصب وعذاب. Again, the starting of the surahs with the stories of the prophets, and it's gonna come in Surah Safat. It's a little longer, 182 verses, so there are going to be more surahs in it, about 8-9 stories in it, and in there is like about 3-4, but it's having the same pattern. And remember, when our slave Ayub, he was afflicted by some pain, he said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, invoke Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that indeed shaitan has touched me with distress and a torment. Well, Ayub alayhi salam, he was a very rich merchant. He was very rich and he had a lot of different things, and he was having a lot of cattle, a lot of livestock, and he had a very big family. But then one day the people of that town, they were disbelievers, they became jealous and they asked that if he is so rich, how is he so rich? Because he is so full in himself. Basically, that if he would have to go of all these things, he would become ungrateful and he would be basically just like a normal person, and he would not be any patient, and he would just be, ungrateful for everything. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested Ayub alayhi salam as a reply to these people, and he took away everything from him, and still Ayub alayhi salam was very patient in this, and then after that everything was restored, as I just said over here. Now after this, when he was patient, then it was said to him after a long time, then it was said to Ayub alayhi salam, Urkud bi rijlik, haza muqtasalun baridun wa sharab. Indeed, strike the ground with your foot. This is a spring of water to wash in. It is very cool, and it's to washing in and also to drink. Because Ayub alayhi salam, he was afflicted by a strange disease which caused different boils to erupt all over his body. So this is why they said that this is the spring for you. It's very cool and it's gonna heal it. And then وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ أَهْلَهُ وَمِثْلَهُ مَعَهُمْ رَحْمَةً مِنَّا وَذِكْرَى لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. And we gave him back his family and along them everything of that, like whatever he had before that. It's a mercy from us, and it's a reminder for those people who understand that indeed afflictions come, tests come, and we have to be patient. We have to see through them, and we should not despair from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just like it was in Surah Zumar, verse number 53. It was قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ لَا تَقْنَطُوا بِرَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ. It was just like this: do not despair from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَخُذْ بِيَدِكَ ضِغْثًا فَاضْرِب بِهِ وَلَا تَحْنَثْ إِنَّا وَجَدْنَاهُ صَابِرًا نِعْمَ الْعَبْدُ إِنَّهُ أَوَّابٌ. Basically, he had an oath that indeed, because he was angry, he said to his wife that indeed I will strike you with 100 times with a stick. Now when this was finished, he had cooled down. Then it was said that do not break your oath. Instead, take 100 branches of twigs, 100 twigs, 100 or a bundle of hay which is like very soft, and then hit with it. Just take 100 of them. So that will fulfill the oath. And after this, we start with the story of Yaqub. Now over here, the 45th verse, وَاذْكُرْ عِبَادَنَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ أُولِي الْأَيْدِي وَالْأَبْصَارِ. And remember our slaves Ibrahim, Ishaq and Yaqub. They were all having strength and they had a lot of understanding. Now basically, we know Ibrahim alayhi salam, thereafter that Ibrahim alayhi salam's sons, Ibrahim alayhi salam's son Ismail alayhi salam, now he was also of a lot of understanding. And then after that, Yaqub alayhi salam, he was also of a lot of understanding, and that understanding passed on to Yusuf alayhi salam. And just like Yaqub alayhi salam, Ishaq alayhi salam, he was of a lot of understanding too. And after that, 46th verse, Inna akhlaqnahum bi khalisatin zikrat dar. Indeed, we chose them by granting them a good thing. Basically, that the remembrance of the dar, which is basically a home in the hereafter. Basically, they used to do so many good things, not only for themselves but for the people too. So this is what has been their characteristic, and that has been shown also. Like for example, we might remember Yusuf alayhi salam with his smart thinking, and you can see that everybody, they all had this intelligence, and that was their characteristic. They were very intelligent people. Nowadays, the 47th verse, وَإِنَّهُمْ عِنْدَنَا لَمِنَ الْمُصْطَفَيْنَ الْأَخْيَارِ, and indeed they were one of the most chosen and the best. And after that, and it's coming over here, the 48th verse, وَاذْكُرْ إِسْمَعِيلَ وَالْيَسَعَ وَذَا وَكُلٌّ مِّنَ الْأَخْيَارِ. وَاذْكُرْ, and remember, Ismail and Al-Yasa and Zalkifl, and they all were among the best. Now, Ismail alayhi salam, we know about him. Zulkifl alayhi salam, he was the one who built the wall to protect from Yajuj and Majuj, which were basically gangs from Central Asia. Central Asia is basically Kazakhstan, Mongolia, these areas. So basically, they were barbaric people who used to slaughter people, and they used to cause violence, and they used to live in the forest. They were a nomadic group basically, and they were people who caused terror. So that's why Dhul-Kifl alayhi salam, he built this wall. And then Al-Yasa, which is basically Ilyasa alayhi salam, he was the one who was the student of Ilyas alayhi salam. Now, when Ilyas alayhi salam, he was hiding from those, disbelievers who were coming after him to kill him, he hid in the home of a person, and that person's baby was very sick and was on the point of dying. But Ilyas alayhi salam prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that baby was cured from that affliction and the disease. And then after that, as that baby grew up, he started learning underneath Ilyas alayhi salam, and then he also became a prophet. His name was Al-Yasa. After this, the 49th verse, Haza zikr wa inna lil muttaqina la husna ma'ab. Indeed, this is a reminder for those people who are of understanding, and indeed for the muttaqin, those people who are pious, there is a great return. Now, after this, the 50th verse, we are on the halfway point. Jannati adn mufattahatan lahumul abwab, and paradise with its gardens whose door will be open to whoever who are the persons of understanding. Then after that, muttaqina fiha yad'una fiha bifakihatin kathiratin wa sharab. Over there they will incline, and they will call for fruits, and they will call for drinks. Then after that, وَإِنْدَهُمْ قَاسِرَاتُ الطَّرْفِ أَطْرَابٍ, and with them they will be maidens of equal ages. Then after that, the 53rd verse, هَذَا مَا تُوعَدُونَ لِيَوْمِ الْحِسَابِ. This is what has been promised to you for the day of judgment. Then after that, the 54th verse, إِنَّ هَذَا لَرِزْقُنَا مَا لَهُ مِن نَفَادٍ. Indeed, this is our own provision, and there is not going to be any straightening of it. Basically, it will never finish. Then the 55th verse, Haza wa inna littagina la sharra ma'ab, and indeed to those people who are transgressed, there is going to be a bad punishment. Jahannama yaslawnaha fa bi'sal mi'ad, and indeed it's going to be the hellfire, and they are going to burn in it, and that is the worst place to be in. Then after that, the 58th verse, then after that, in the Jahannam, there are going to be different, torments, and that including that there's going to be the tree of Zakum, there's going to be boiling water, there's going to be the columns of smoke and the fire spark coming. Basically, there's also going to be a volcano in hell, and it's going to be flying out sparks, and those sparks are going to land on the people, just like this. Hada fal yaduquhu hamiman wa ghasaq. This, and they are going to be drinking a boiling fluid, and that's not only be just any boiling fluid, it's going to have pus in it. So yeah, they can just see the level of the distraught those people are going to be in the hell. And if those people, they wouldn't have given the distraught to the believers, and they would have been believing in this dunya, then they would have not been tasting such a torment. Then after that, the 58th verse, وَآخَرُ مِنْ شَكْلِهِ أَزْوَاجٍ, and many other punishments of its kind. Then after that, the 59th verse, هَذَا فَوْجٌ مُقْتَحِمٌ مَعَكُمْ لَا مَرْحَبًا بِهِمْ إِنَّهُمْ صَالُو النَّارِ. Indeed, this is a troop that is going to be entering and marching into hell, and there's going to be no welcome for them. Like for example, we see in the last verses of Surah Zumar that there were two parties that were entering Jahannam and Jannah. Now, one party was the one that was entering Jannah. There was a huge reception for them. There was a huge welcome. And then those which were the regret-filled people entering hellfire. Then after that, now when they went in there, of course, they are going to be very different people. They are going to be full of regret that they didn't do anything in this world. They're going to be like, why have we done this? And they were then going to be putting an excuse on the people. When they were going to be asked, there's going to be questions that why have you disbelieved? What was your reason of disbelieving? And then they're going to say that we have disbelieved, we were misled from those people. And those people, they have misled us, they were guiding us on the wrong path, and they said that give them a double torment. So that's what's going to be. There's going to be chaos in the hellfire too. قَالُوا بَلْ أَنْتُمْ لَا مَرْحَبًا بِكُمْ أَنْتُمْ قَدَّمْتُمُوهُ لَنَا فَبِئْسَ الْقَرَارِ. Then the followers of the disbelievers, they will say, no, you too, there is no welcome for you, basically the misleaders. So basically there were two people, one who were misleaded and one who were the misleaders. Misleaders are those people who not only did not listen, they also guided other people towards the bad path. Now the 65th verse. Now the misleaded, they will say, قالوا ربنا من قدم لنا هذا فزده عذابا ضعفا في النار. The misleaded will say that whoever misleaded us to this path, bring them a double torment in the fire. Then the 62nd verse. وقالوا ما لنا لا نرى رجالا كنا نعدهم من الأشرار. And what is the matter with that we didn't see when we were becoming from those bad people? And now of course those people, they used to come in such a way that the people, they were of course seeing it. Now the way you used to approach, they used to approach from the right hand side. It's going to come in one of the surahs ahead, and they used to say that everything of this is a farce, and this thing, there have been nothing in this, and this is just a forged thing, a fabrication. And then after that, the 63rd verse. أَتَّخَذْنَاهُمْ سِخْرِيًّا أَمْ زَاغَتْ عَنْهُمُ الْأَبْصَارِ. Is this an object of mockery that we took? Basically, we used to mock the disbelievers, or our eyes or selves turned away. Basically, that did we ourselves turn, or did we used to mock them because of our self-pride? Now they're going to be thinking about their life choices. They're going to be evaluating, why did we do such bad things? After that, the 64th verse. إِنَّ ذَلِكَ لَحَقٌّ تَخَاصُمُ أَهْلِ النَّارِ. Indeed, this is going to be the truth, that those people who disbelieved, they're going to be burnt in the fire. And then the 65th verse. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا مُنْذِرٌ وَمَا مِنْ إِلَهٍ إِلَّا اللَّهُ الْوَاحِدُ الْقَهَّارُ. And then they said that indeed I am only a warner, not an imposer, and there is only one God, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the one and who is the most powerful. رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا الْعَزِيزُ الْغَفَّارُ. He is the Lord of the heavens and the earth, and He is the Almighty, and He is the most forgiving. After that, the 67th verse. قُلْ هُوَ نَبَأٌ عَظِيمٌ. Indeed, this Qur'an is a great news. Basically, of course, the Qur'an, it's a tiding. It's a tiding that is telling us about the day of Qiyamah, about the stories of the prophets, different examples. And then the 68th verse, أَنْتُمْ عَنْهُ مُعْرِضُونَ, that from which you turn away. Then the 69th verse, مَا كَانَ لِيَ مِنْ إِلْمٍ بِالْمَلَإِ الْأَعْلَى إِذْ يَخْتَصِمُونَ. I had no knowledge of those chiefs, basically the angels, who were high when they were disputing and discussing. Basically, that was when the creation of Adam alayhi salam happened. There was of course a dispute about whether he is going to be ungrateful or grateful. Now after this, yuha ilayya illa annama anna nadhirun mubin. Indeed, this has been only put to be inspired to me. I am only a plain warner. I am not an imposer. Now after this it's the story of the angels and the jinns. Basically, when Iblis, he started this whole thing, and that was after that when this dunya was created. And this was when the first human was created ever. And then after that, all that story started. إِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي خَالِقٌ بَشَرًا مِّن طِينٍ. Indeed, when your Lord said to the angels, indeed, I'm going to make a man from clay. That is basically, different types of clay. It's not just any type of soil. Like clay is going to be that sticky kind of soil. Now, فَإِذَا سَوَيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. So when I have fashioned him and breathed into him his soul, then you have to fall in prostration. Basically, when I'm going to make him, and then I'm going to breathe the soul into him. And then after that, what happened? فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ كُلُّهُمْ أَجْمَعُونَ. So all of the angels, they obeyed and prostrated. Of course, the angels, they don't have free will. They always listen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِلَّا إِبْلِيسُ اسْتَكْبَرَ وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. Except Iblis, who was proud and he was from the disbelievers. Now Iblis, he was a jinn, and he was one of those jinns who was very proud and who had a great level of self-pride. And we can see in the dunya that the disbelievers, they had this pride like Iblis. So then what happened was that Iblis, it was said to him, قَالَ يَا إِبْلِيسُ مَا مَنَعَكَ أَن تَسْجُدَ لِمَا خَلَقْتُ بِيَدَيَّ أَسْتَكْبَرْتَ أَمْ كُنْتَ مِنَ الْعَالِينَ. What then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Iblis, what prevents you from prostrating to Adam alayhi salam? Are you too exalted? Are you be giving a big level, or are you too proud? Then after that, Iblis said, قَالَ أَنَا خَيْرٌ مِّنْهُ خَلَقْتَنِي مِنْ نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِنْ طِينٍ. Then he said, I am better than him. You created me from fire, and you created me from fire, and you created him from clay. Basically, the jinns were made from fire. and this person was made from clay. Then after that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, qala fakhruj minha fa innaka rajim, then go out from here because you are now an outcast. And this is from where the dua comes, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Shaitanir rajim means the devil, which is outcast, which is basically Iblis. After this, wa inna alayka la'anati ila yawmiddin, and indeed my curse is upon you till the day of recompense. Then Iblis said, he challenged Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that now this is the challenge, that till the day of Qiyamah I am going to mislead as many followers as I can of you, and I'm going to put them along with me in the Jahannam. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, okay, the challenge is on, and only the biggest followers of mine, the best followers of mine are going to survive. Now, qala rabbi fa'anzirni ila yawmi yub'asun, then he said, oh my Lord, give me the respite till the day comes, the day of resurrection. Then after that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, qala fa innaka minal munzarin, indeed you are from those people who are allowed the respite, ila yawmil waqtil ma'loom, until that day when the known time is going to come, basically when the unknown is going to start, the day of Qiyamah is going to start on that day. Then after that, qala fa bi izzatika la yughwiyannahum ajma'in, then Iblis said that indeed by your might I will mislead everybody, illa ibadaka minhumul mukhlasin, except your slaves who are the most and the most believing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those people who are the sabiqun as-sabiqun. And the 84th verse then, qala fal haqqa wal haqqa aqul, fa qala fal haqqu wal haqqa aqul, that indeed this is the truth and this is the truth that I say, la amla anna jahannama minka wa mimman tabiyaka minhum ajma'in, indeed I will fill the hell with you and your disbelievers all together. And then after that, the next verse, kul ma as'alukum alayhi min ajrin wa ma ana minal mutakallifin. After this it is said, now it is said to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam that there is no wage I ask you from, just be from the believers. This is what is said to the disbelievers, in huwa illa zikrul lil alamin, except this is only a reminder for those people who are in the mankind. Now the Quran, it is a reminder, it has so many things in it that reminds us of this dunya, that this dunya is actually a test and we have to succeed in the hereafter. And the last verse of the surah, the 88th verse of Surah Sad is, wala ta'lamunna naba'ahu ba'da hin, and indeed you will know the truth of the Quran, all this reminding its truth after a while, which is the day of judgment. So I hope everybody had fun decoding the verses of Surah Sad. And this was the 38th surah of the Quran. After this, the 37th surah of the Quran is Surah Safat. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll start on Surah Safat. I hope everybody has a great time in Ramadan, and I hope everybody will attain the rahmas and barakas of this month before the month is out and in the next 11 months too. Rabbana atmim lana nurana waghfir lana innaka ala kulli shay'in qadir. Rabbana wasi'ta kulla shay'in rahmatan wa ilman faghfir lillazina tabu wattabu sabilaka wa qim azab al-jahim. Amin bi rahmatika ya arhamur rahimin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.